know that you exist. So are the
no. Not letting them know, but you're
because that's what a job fair is.
Well, yeah, but it's open to everybody. Once you cut off other groups, you're being discriminatory. You're saying I'm not going to hire you. You just said targeted.
Who said that other people aren't going to be there?
It's targeted for those who so say.
Have you ever been to a job fair?
I have, but listen to what you're saying. Let's not obfuscate. Let's get to what you said. If you target, okay, good. All right, so let's stay there. Let's say there's a job fair to what you said that's targeting women. Hypothetically, let's say other men are there, which doesn't make sense if you're targeting women. You have men there, but let's just say, okay, that's fine. But that's still, but the ideal is that the men are there and they might not be in the know that they're not prioritized. You're prioritizing the sex over the other sex, and therefore there's going to be a less likely chance you get the job as a male because they prefer females.
Who said anything about priority?
That's what targeting means. Oh, Jesus. That's what targeting means, sweetie. It does.
No, it doesn't.
You're targeting this thing opposed to that thing. Come on, man.
No, it's not. No, you're an idiot. When the army puts...
Yes, I'm not making sense right now.
If an army puts a recruitment facility, or they go to different high schools, right, with different populations, is that a target? Are they really targeting?
It depends on what they're targeting. Yes, they be targeting something. Yes, that's common sense.
Right.
Why here opposed to there?
But because hey, it's not here opposed to there. It's everyone. Like it's not like Yale or Stanford or wherever the fuck they were going before is not still being recruited from. As a matter of fact, again, according to the data, these things, again, since there is no enforcement, there's only like a minor increment of a bump of inclusion because you're now exposed to a different pool of people. But the majority of your employees are still going to come from the same, not only universities, because we know that most hiring, especially at the corporate level, is done by what? A reference. They recommend people. And the same thing happens with elite institutions. Most of the people that go to elite institutions are legacy, or they've been recruited because of what? Sports or whatever. Like this is what this is the goal or the core value of the institution is to not be segregated and to have a diverse student body. What is the problem? There's no enforcement.
One, the discriminatory aspect of it. Secondly, the undermining the narrative situation.
If it's not diverse, isn't there already de facto discrimination happening?
No.
Okay, all right.
That's not true. No.
Sure.
Right.
So how do you determine discrimination?
I'm glad you asked. Exactly what you said. Targeting particular demographics. That's discriminatory. That's literally what it is. So 50 years ago, let me explain because you just spoke. Let me try to explain what I'm saying so you can understand me because you just spoke. 50 to 80 years ago. Well, you asked me a question and you had a big spiel. So let me just run this real quick so I can tell you what I think discriminatory practice is. What you just said essentially, but let's just go back some years because we'll be doing the same thing just for a different demographic. There's a hiring job fair. And they are hiring only white people because they don't want to hire black people, right? And they don't care about diversity of other groups. They care about what they're targeting. If they're targeting white people, that is discriminatory against other groups. And that's what we saw. Hence, we're now saying what we're going to do basically, I guess, what we call reverse racism, which I just call racism, is say now we're going to target other groups as opposed to what they did back then. The principle doesn't change. It's the same. If you target a demographic based on race or gender, it's a form of discrimination. I know you... When you say in DEI they're targeting certain demographics based on innate characteristics such as your gender, your sex, that's discriminatory.
It's not. No, it's not. It is.
Whoa, talk.
Excuse me.
It's not discriminatory. Hold on.
Define discrimination.
Yes, have it. Yes, we can. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
And tell me,
because I think everybody understands what this means.
If opening up your talent pool to diversity is an act of discrimination. Get the fuck out of here! Like that's the opposite of
yes, it is. Just because you're doing it, just because you're doing it to the group you like doesn't mean it's not discriminatory. That's still what it is.
It's not one group.
It don't matter how many groups. If you exclude any group, it's still discriminatory.
What is the opposite of diversity, Free?
I know what diversity is. That's why we don't like it. That's the whole point. I get it. You're trying to get something outside of. I get it. Something that's different, diverse. Yes.
What is the
I I get what you're saying.
Diversity.
King, I get what you're saying. We got it.
Diversity of diversity. Can you answer?
You gonna keep asking the question? Yes, I can answer the question.
Okay, answer it.
Diversity
we understand.
Highest goal. It's not the highest goal to achieve.
Free. What is the opposite of diversity?
That's the fourth time. You want to ask it again?
You haven't answered. Like, what is wrong?
I do. Because I don't need to. Because we get it. That ain't the point. We get it. We get it. You're gonna ask me again. Now I'll tell you we get it. I don't need to answer it because we get the fucking point. We don't need to do that. No, it's not a C. It's trivial. Yes, call it what you want to, but you're being stupid, acting like discrimination is not discrimination.
That's low.
But you're acting like this. Yeah, I know the irony of this. I want you to understand what you say don't mean anything to me because I don't consider you smart. So it doesn't mean anything to me for you to think I'm low IQ. Because if I am low IQ, you're lower than me because you don't know what discriminatory means. You don't know that you're actually preaching it. Because the group that you like is being favored in this situation, so you don't want to call it discriminatory because the groups you favor is being benefited.
Tell me what the opposite of discriminatory is.
It's trivial. This is called obfuscation. You're gonna do this, and we're gonna go somewhere else. That's why she wants you to do the stupid shit. We get the point. We get it. No, it's not bullshit. The bullshit is you trying to go somewhere else, supposed to stick to the point. That's why she wants to do this.
It's a nice thing, but it's not the highest goal.
And yell instead of answer the fucking question.
No, we're sticking to a point. You wanna ask that question because you want to go somewhere else, and this is what you do when you guys do when you have an argument. No. Yeah, you're right. I could exactly, but there's no need to because we're going somewhere we don't need to go. Marshall, go ahead, Marshall, because we're not going nowhere with this idiot.
Hey, King, just got back into my truck. I just cleaned it. What's going on?
What's the opposite of discrimination?
Answer your fucking matters. Please answer it, because this is go nowhere.
The antonym of discrimination, I guess, would be empowered. If I'm thinking, the antonym would be empowered, but I have to look that up to double check.
The opposite of discrimination.
Preference.
Right. Okay. The opposite is a preference. Okay. What else?
What's your new preference?
She's trying to get you to say equality.
No, the opposite of discrimination is exclusion. It's segregation. Stupid.
No. That's what you're doing, though, dummy. When you prefer one group over the other, that's what you're doing, you idiot.
No, it's not.
That literally is. You're saying I'm going to target this group and not that group. You're discriminating, dummy.
What did you get in language arts?
It doesn't matter, idiot. Stick to the point. That's why you keep asking these dumbass questions. Stick to the point. No. What do you get in comprehension? Because you can't. We're good. Let's not talk to each other. But y'all see how stupid she is. She's trying to act like discrimination is not discrimination because it favors a group she likes. Okay, good. Yes, like you fucking know me. Like I don't know you, and I don't care about your history either. Because I'm not gonna appeal to your history because this conversation would matter, and you're too fucking stupid to have it. Let's have this conversation, not about my history or your history. Let's have this conversation. You're too fucking stupid to have it, and that's why DEI sucks. None of your fucking business. How about that?
Yeah.
None of your fucking business. How about that?
I don't know.
Look that up. Look up none of your fucking business.
Maybe because
go Google none of your fucking business and see what that is for a living.
Well, King, the problem is though is that if you have okay, so DEI or affirmative action in a way gives a preference.
DEI is
which is, for example, hold on.
Don't conflate the two because they're not the same.
Okay. Sure. And that's why 90+% of the fucking jobs post-pandemic ended up going to minorities.
Where's your evidence of that?
Yeah, I don't know about any of that, bro.
Yeah, that's definitely not true.
I did look this. Hold on. I did look up the synonyms and antonyms to the word discriminate. So we might have a more honest conversation about it. So synonyms to discriminate are differentiate, distinguish, difference, discern, separate, discern, understand, know, comprehend, contradistinguished. Well, I've never heard that one before. Divide, sever, set off, demarcate, mark off, grasp, or part. The antonyms to the word discriminate are confuse, mix up, mistake, lump together, confound, and mingle. These come from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. If anybody prefers the Oxford English, just let me know and I'll look it up.
So what about the context of discrimination, racial discrimination? Because I don't think these people are intelligent enough to like draw what I'm trying to say.
Hey.
I wasn't talking to you, Brad. I wasn't dissing you. I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't dissing you. So you don't have to get hyped on me.
I'm not dissing. I'm not interrupting. Like, let's tone it down a bit. I allowed it to go. I was doing something else, but trying to figure out how to work a fucking crock pot. But
okay. You still struggling with that, Brad?
Fuck yeah, burnt one
Marshall, ask ChatGPT.
Go ahead.
Ask ChatGPT what the opposite of racial discrimination is.
It'd be racial inclusion, I'm guessing.
It would be racial preference. The opposite of discrimination is preference.
Thank you, Devin.
Well, what's the point?
Y'all still arguing?
Racial.
Yeah, I've been waiting for her to grab a song.
Wait a minute. The opposite of discrimination is.
I'm pro DI, by the way.
She agreed preference.
Wait a minute. No. I didn't get. I thought I did not realize. And see what, because he says the shit. It's what, facts free.
But no, the opposite.
No, I'm just trying to push this forward so you can make your point so we can move forward. You keep asking this question.
The opposite of
we could have been done by this.
So, like, for example, when they said,
Marshall will tell us.
King, I did look it up on ChatGPT, or my ChatGPT. I don't know how accurate this is because you have to check ChatGPT. Good question. Since racial discrimination means treating people unfairly or unequally based on race, its antonyms would be words or phrases that capture fairness, like equality and respect across races. Some possible antonyms include racial equality, racial equity, racial justice, inclusion, diversity, partiality, fairness, tolerance, acceptance, and human solidarity. In the strict word antonym sense, equality or fairness are closest to the practice. People often use racial equality, equity, or justice as true opposites.
but it's not an actual.
That's what ChatGPT says. We have.
That is it.
No. Hold on.
God damn it.
We have the meaning from Merriam-Webster, and we have what ChatGPT says too, as ways to discuss that.
I got an idea. Why don't we just use the English language instead of trying to define the words?
Not the synonym. So can you give the synonym to racial discrimination?
Why are we playing this fucking game? Okay? Equality?
Fucking thank you.
Because we can't have
Why are we doing this stupid shit?
Jesus Christ, shut up, King.
Conversation if y'all
King, shut the fuck up and let me finish. I'm a goddamn mod. Will you shut up? Jesus Christ. No, okay. Having racial equality, for example, would be having the neutral stance. Okay. Me only hiring white people and telling my hiring managers to only hire white people would be an example. It would be the opposite. I have a preference for my own, and it's exclusionary third group. It's in other words, there's two sides. One gets the preference, one gets the exclusion. The opposite is the person that's getting preferred. Equality would just be neutrality. In other words, you don't have a preference or exclusion for either group.
The opposite of exclusion is inclusion. Thank you.
That
doesn't discount what I said.
Yeah, she said discrimination at first. Not discrimination. Yeah, but this is stupid. Just get to your fucking point, King. We've been doing this for like 10 minutes.
The English language is not a mystery. You guys can twist and turn all you want, but, it's very clear. The shit is not a mystery. If you refuse to accept it because you don't like it, that's personal.
You still haven't made your point yet, King. We've been on this for 10 fucking minutes. You haven't made a point. What's your fucking point, King? Please.
And you still didn't answer the question, so.
I did. I said a long time ago when you were trying to get other people to answer. I told you want to say, okay, well, it was not a good point. All right, let's move forward.
The opposite of exclusion.
No, the opposite. No, what affirmative action in DEI was preference for dark people, and it as opposed to preference for white people. Literally, it's literally swinging the fucking pendulum in the opposite fucking direction.
That's not true. That's not true.
For other groups, basically non-whites and women, essentially.
King, is diversity the highest priority?
Applies also to veterans.
Yes, and we say that we get it. Yeah,
Let me ask you this,
correct.
King, is diversity the highest priority? Is that the most important thing? Diversity?
For the left, yes, it is. For them, they don't give a shit about anything else. As long as it's not white, that's all they care about.
That's all not true.
We do not care about DEI. We do not care.
Joby, how many vaccines did you take?
Devin.
Yes.
Devin,
Yes.
do you believe in the free market?
The free market.
Oh, we did that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that. I'm really getting a headache from this. I mean, either we make a point and move on, or
I'm talking about an organization.
Yes,
Mama's talking. She muted
What
her
you're
phone.
doing is changing the topic.
Okay.
No, I'm not, because you're.
Guys, the mod is talking. Goddamn.
Hey, there shouldn't be anybody talking when Patricia's talking. Period. Like, she is one of the four horsemen of this entire club. Let her finish. Then you guys can go.
Yeah, I just want you to make your point, King, and let's just move on from it, because we're not going to come to an agreement. You and Free are at the opposite ends of what the point of this is. So please make your final points, and if we could move on with the conversation, great.
Like what you don't like, but make sure it's based on facts. Otherwise, you're fucking crazy. You're responding emotionally.
No, you're responding emotionally with your fucking watermelon logic, and it's fucking obnoxious. The reason why people are against DEI is they have to put up with black girl magic from people like you.
What do you do for a living, job? Genius. Mr. High IQ.
I fire black people for a living. How's that fucking sound?
Yeah, I doubt that very much. You probably got your GED.
Okay, but you're taking a little too long on your break to scream in your big mic. So why don't you go back to work before you get fired?
How do we get a great America? Do we get a great
no
America?
longer funding Israel.
Y'all don't want a great America. That's how.
Yes, it's a hypothetical
No longer
question.
funding Israel. That would help.
It's just a thought experiment. How do we get a great America? By aiming for diversity or by aiming for greatness, merit,
Aiming missiles at
high
Israel.
quality achievements?
But that's what diversity was supposed to be for. It was supposed to be a merit-based logic, and it turned into something else, which is why I left the industry a decade ago. I did want to say this, right? Because in every room, there's people always talking about how diversity is this quote-unquote black thing, and that's just the most untrue thing. It is a white woman and a white LGBTQ. Those are the two biggest beneficiaries of diversity, both in finance and in the tech industry. This whole color conundrum where you're now starting to see black faces in the DEI space is primarily black women, and that's because there's some benefits that, depending on your institution, there's some benefits that you can get from being quote unquote a double or triple minority. Diversity today basically means anybody but a heterosexual white male that is not in the military or has disability.
Well, these things also vary by field.
But diversity includes everybody except for those people.
And I find that
I mean, in technology, maybe it is white people. I have no idea. But there's all different fields where people excel. In individual fields, Oriental people might excel. Women might excel in another field. Gay people might excel in another field. Maybe Jewish people excel in a certain field. I don't know. whatever it is, if it's based on meritocracy, that makes for a great America.
That's how it started. Like that was the initial intent, and it has dwelled into something else, which I do not agree with. But the initial intent about diversity was merit, and today what it's become is something different.
I mean, don't you guys? I mean, I even think like the some groups do better than others in the United States. It's, you know, statistically this all bears out, and I don't. There's no real way you can try to, I don't know. I guess try to even quote unquote even things out so people are equally as educated and equally have as much money as, you know, from the different groups, without, you know, you basically, I guess you could say, abusing and taking advantage of not taking advantage, how do I put it, like you'd have to have almost like an actual communist fucking country.
I don't think anybody's asked for equality in money though. I think just opportunity is all. That's it. I think that's the goal, just equal opportunities to get a shot. That's it.
Well, can I ask you a question then?
Go.
Why? So New York City, more than half of the children, the Chinese children, live below the poverty line. I learned this a couple of years ago. Yet they still outperform every other ethnic or racial group in New York City, including black kids. Obviously.
Do you think it's that we're genetically predisposed to performances?
Well, I think I do know that culturally they spend even the poor Chinese kids, they spend far more hours studying than you know, native-born Americans. So I would say, are black children or white children in New York City, for example, not being given the same opportunities, or do they have a shittier culture when it comes to education in comparison to these Chinese kids?
Culture, 100%.
It's culture, 100%. There's a New York Times best-selling book called Tiger Mom, and it's an Asian woman author that wrote about immigrants and parenting, and listed 8 immigrant groups that have almost I don't want to say, they have a very, very intense culture as it relates to education in America. And this is the reason why people from those immigrant groups tend to excel in a capitalistic market or the United States of America. But the book Tiger Mom goes into it. It's called The Immigrant Advantage, and it's really between nationalized newer Americans in that first generation. But studies show by the third generation of that same family, they tend to have the same results as a average everyday American. So to me, what that signals is that over time, people become completely matriculated into that culture, and some of their outcomes are very similar with everyday Americans. But that sort of immigrant advantage disappears within 2 to 3 generations.
But I guess, so yeah, I mean, I don't know that data, so I'll take your word for it. But is it I wouldn't call it lack of equality if you know, I don't think there's anything we as a country can do when it comes to how people raise their children. And of course, I don't think all parents are really equipped to be good parents, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, you can offer the schools and stuff, but if the kids aren't being made to study and aren't being pushed by their parents, I think it's just...
That's a cultural issue.
Yeah, but how do you change that culture? Like, that's the thing, is I don't know how do you change the culture for an everyday boy living in rural Nebraska or, I don't know, anywhere in the fucking country compared to, like, you know, these smaller, dense Chinese communities in New York City. I don't think you can do that.
I think even
really. Oh, go ahead. Whoever was talking.
Yeah. I think you can. It's going to take a lot of effort and time. And the issue is that, you know, I don't think people as adults, we want to give up the pleasures, because all the shit that the kids do that kind of distract them from being disciplined, ambitious, and smart is the same shit we do as adults. We like playing games, gambling, drinking, being on the internet, spending countless time doing nothing, essentially. And we have to take the initiative to kind of change our society for the youth in order for them to start following the path that we set. Because the only reason we got here is because we let ourselves get here. So we have to start with us to change that, essentially. Go ahead.
And I did want to say this one thing about the conflation of diversity and affirmative action. If you Google right now, and I'm not saying this to be sarcastic or sound like a smartass, I'm just saying to get some actual factual knowledge, is the quote-unquote affirmative action has been banned by the state of California since 1996, right? So anybody alive today that has gone through the college system, unless you graduated before 1996, you're not a quote affirmative action or diversity hire, right? Because people like conflating the two. It's been banned since 1996, right? Thomas Sowell has a book where he talks about the challenges of affirmative action, him being a Stanford professor and him teaching all over, being a professor all over the United States. He talks about the challenges and why it's wrong, right? And so I agree with a lot of his points. If you put somebody who is not at the same level or at the same standard of excellence in a space where there is that standard, then you're setting that student up for failure, right? But I did want to clear, affirmative action is not a California-based thing. It's more of an East Coast, Midwest, Southern thing. But California put a ban to that a long time ago. And when I was hearing all these changes as somebody that has worked decades in the D&I industry, and it really wasn't even an industry until after George Floyd. It really was not. It was a low-paying job. It was a job where you really were a cog of HR. It wasn't a big deal for black folks until George Floyd, right? But black folks have somehow been labeled with this affirmative action and this diversity thing, where it doesn't matter if you're talking about university hiring, it doesn't matter if you're talking about government hiring, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the private sector hiring. The biggest beneficiary of any affirmative action and diversity, equity, inclusion initiative, number one, white women. Number two, white LGBTQ. And number three is white veterans or veterans in general. Those are the biggest beneficiaries. Black people just got blamed for it. Like the quote unquote, remember the welfare queen from back in the day? I think it was Reagan that went on this thing about this welfare queen, and it was this black woman. You can Google this because Google and ChatGPT is free. That woman was an Italian woman cosplaying as a black woman. The welfare queen, that whole welfare queen campaign, that was an Italian woman cosplaying as a black woman. That wasn't even a black woman. So in the history of America, when it comes to DEI, when it comes to affirmative action, it's only been branded as this black initiative. But when you look at the data, you'll find that black people are the least to benefit from any of these initiatives. And it's just a statistical thing. When you look at it, there are more white women in America. There are more white LGBTQ or LGBTQ in America. Black people got beat up for all this stuff, but they did not benefit in the same ways that other groups did. And I land my plane.
Yeah. So I would take it you're not making an argument that we shouldn't have it because of that, right? And I'm not for the DI, but I'm just a yes or no real quick. AC.
You said what?
I'm not taking that you say we shouldn't have DEI because it benefited the least, right?
We did not have this version of DEI. We should not have this version. The DEI that my father built, the DEI that I built was based on merit, not based on what we're seeing here today.
So when you say based on merit, because it's kind of changed things up, give me a quick example if you could. What do you mean? Just who performs the best, who has the best outcome?
Right. So again, there are certain metrics that, depending on the organization you work for, you look at when it comes to making a hiring decision. The interview is a part of that. If it's more of a new hire, you're going to look at education and grades. But if you're more of a mid-level management, you'll look at experiences and title. And if you can quantify the actual performance, you'll look at those metrics as well. And so what I've seen, and you can Google this yourself, is particularly in the finance banking industry, like JP Morgan, the company that I used to work for, is there was no way that you could justify hiring a quote unquote It doesn't even have to be a black person. It could have been a woman. It could have been an LGBTQ. It could have been a black person. There's no way that you could use our metrics and our hiring standards to hire this person over this person. So how is it that they got the job over X candidate, right? And so the actual CEO, Jamie Dimon, came out and said, hey, we looked at the data ourselves. This was we didn't hire a third party. We looked at the hiring data ourselves, and we did find that there was some discrepancy, there was some discrimination, and so we're going to work internally to fix that. But we want to let the public know that we did our own due diligence, and we found out ourselves that we do have discriminatory practices based on our own metrics that we set forward. And this happened maybe 5 to 8 years ago. Jamie Dimon did a public press conference and released an article saying, like, no, we do have discriminatory practices, and it wasn't based on any particular race, gender, or sexual orientation. We're just saying that, hey, you can't justify hiring this person based on the score that this candidate got. All we're asking is, how did this person get this job over this person?
Hey,
Gotcha.
AC, I have a question for you. Hey, Free, can I?
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So one of the things that I've noticed, I spent a good amount of time on Clubhouse just to relax a little bit and listen to both sides. Though I'm a person of color and lean right, when I go into most of the rooms, especially the politically correct room, where majority of the population is black folks, why do they make this whole movement about everything is going anti-black? And they there are some coincidences, like for example, like where he was talking about sending National Guard and military to all these bigger blue cities, especially like Los Angeles, Illinois, and New York and whatnot. So why does there's a problem that we see. I mean, as a resident of California, I see the problem. There are places in Oakland and Compton that are in some parts of LA that are not very safe. Yes, they are populated with black people, but that doesn't mean that he's targeting only these specific black-dominated cities. But he's talking about cities in general, like LA. So LA is very diversified, and it has nothing to do just with black people. But somehow Democrats and the people on the left spin it in a whole different way. And I try hard to listen and understand their point of view, because they always tell me that this is targeting black people, and I have a hard time understanding why it is.
As someone born in Berkeley and raised in Oakland, California is only a city like Oakland or LA is only branded as black. There's not very much black people here anymore. They've all been gentrified out to the south. And so I don't know. I don't speak for all black people, but I will say this is, within these conversations, whether it's cultural wars, whether it's conversations about DEI or affirmative action, black folks have just been branded. Like, again, California does not have many black people. Black people are actually retreating to the south. Cities like Oakland and LA are no longer quote unquote black cities, even though they have a significant population. There's more white people here in Oakland. There's more Mexican people here in Oakland. San Francisco is actually, after white people, is Chinese or Asian people that dominate the population. So there is no quote unquote black city on the West Coast anywhere, actually.
But somehow Democrat and the left party is able to spin it against, this whole thing is about targeting black people. I see, that's the part that I not understand, even no matter how much I explain about the situation in LA.
Because some people want to sow dissension. You sow dissension in a society. You pit people against other people. And many people from various areas of society wish to deploy dissension for their own purposes. It's political on any level. Even when it's purely social, it's political. It's trying to get your point across. I don't think I made myself too clear, but whenever you invoke identity, you are trying to sow dissension. dissension is when people are against one another. I think I'd have to look up the word.
So do you think is it because the political party, whether it's left or right, are not like being able to give the right tools for people of minority to succeed? Is that's why they have to come across these kind of different programs and agendas and make it part of the campaign for them to get the visibility into and consideration into the society? But like, where is the political party failing? Like, I mean, I'm not talking specifically the Trump's administration, but even if you were to look back at the previous administrations, where have they failed? Like, in terms of empowerment, California has the most amount of programs to help no matter whoever you are. I mean, they're okay to bankrupt themselves to the last penny, but they just want to give money and help people. But I still don't see any progress, and that has costed the taxpayers in California so much, and we're so frustrated with so many initiatives happening around with no results. And that's what is actually making a lot of us in California who work, who contribute to society and try to make an impact to lean right, because the left has shown nothing but no results.
So, Hokie, I agree with you in so many different ways. I used to be a staunch Democrat that voted Democrat for forever, and then recently, by recently I mean the past 8 years, I've become independent, and I only vote based on policy. There's no loyalty to any party. It's kind of like being a political prostitute, where you go back and forth based on the proposed policies. You're going to make a vote based on that, and not necessarily a party. I think the Democratic Party has failed, particularly Black people, in many ways, but I'm just gonna make a overarching thing. I feel like the Democratic Party caters to the emotions in people. They would like a emotional reaction that will secure votes for them. And so I feel in many ways that the Democratic Party has failed Black people and Californians. And even if you look at the last election in terms of policies on crime, like I remember there was a policy, if you stole something from somebody but it was less than $1,800 or something, then they couldn't really do anything. I think policies like that have crippled Californians. And from a policy standpoint, if you look at how Californians have voted, just from a state policy, it was much more conservative than it's ever been. And I see that as a key performance indicator to the Democratic Party. Like, hey, maybe we've gone a little bit too far left, and we have to move a little bit more in the middle in order to gain some voters back. The reality is, I think that this is how I view politics, is a way that all Black people should view politics, because there is no party necessarily for us. It's just like, which one is better than the other. So for me, again, it just comes down to what the candidate, whether it's at the state level, the local level, or the national level, what they're proposing, and voting based on that. Because the Democratic Party, as it's been, has been something that is an emotional jerker. They want you to vote based off emotions instead of logic.
Joe B., did you want to add to the conversation?
No, I'm just enjoying the bullshit in the back channel, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Brad has stepped away for a phone call, and so I don't know how much longer he's going to be, but I think I'm going to shut it down because you guys are getting a little too spicy in the chat there, and we all have lives and other things to do. So thank you for coming back to the Political Compass. We're going to be running more rooms a bit more often when schedules permit. If Brad is available later today, we might open something back up. But for now, thank you for coming, and we will see you again. talk to your physician about adjusting your medication. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but before you came in here, I gave you nothing but praise. As a matter of fact, see, to make sure they came back, because I was going to reach out to you so you can come in here and talk about the stable coins against everybody. If you don't have any interest, then don't come. See, seriously, you're to me, I'm talking to now a person who is not even a fucking adult, is a child. No one put your finger on the button and press 420. Nobody. You chose to come in here, and I'm only telling you this because this might be your fucking last time, and I really don't care. It is her last time. It is. Yeah, because I'm the one telling everybody that you had a very good presentation on Saturday about the stable coin, that you were very intelligent, you had all this information, and I wanted you to present it to the room. And then you stumble in here at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to tell me about how my room is a piece of shit. Well, you know what, see, I agree with you for even allowing this conversation to happen between you and me. I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna tell you right now, the car bled out, and she stumbled out, and here she is, because didn't nobody take her home or take her to the Waffle House, so she up in here crying, you know. Okay, so can't say I'm gonna have to fix that. Can't say my mom. You're not Captain Save-A-Ho. Nice. You are not Captain Save-A-Ho. I tried.
Trump needs to go after these black cities. They're horrible.
Hey, Joe. Oh, okay, really?
Horrible.
Hey, girl, you were in the middle of one. So. Yeah, I mean, that's retarded that you would say that about your own people. So there's a lot of self-hatred going on. I understand it. I don't appreciate it, but I understand there's a lot of self-hatred. It's like me going into a white room. Yeah, these niggas need to be hung. I don't understand it, but you do, and that's all that matters, okay? So whatever sickness you're suffering for, I got somebody for you. I'll give you a recommendation so you can go get help. But see, I told you about these black men. They come into here and they say the craziest, stupid-ass shit about their own people, about their own communities. Just crazy.
Ain't no such thing as a black community. It's horrible.
It's not such thing as a black community. There's no such thing as a black community. Okay, there's no such thing as upstanding black men then. And you're part of the problem. And you're part of the problem.
Let me say this.
You're part of the problem. You're the black men that we need to exterminate. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. So you and your family don't live in a black community. You and your family, all of them. All 12.
We don't do black. Black is a problem.
Okay, so you black. You got a get out of jail free card?
Listen.
You black.
Let me break this down to you.
You black. You don't have to break shit down.
I know.
We don't have
because it's poverty.
That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting that you got.
We know Chicago is hell. We know DC is hell. We know.
You're hell. Where you live? 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 I don't want to live. Where you live? Where you live? Where you live? So if you don't live in no city, shut the fuck up.
Well, I've been in major cities. I'm being honest, but if you don't want to have dialogue,
you're a provocateur, and you can
but if you let me finish, I'll break it down to you. But
I don't have to. It's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. Nobody want to hear you coming here.
But isn't that your topic? Trump wants black cities. I'm telling you, it needs it.
No, it doesn't need it.
It does.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You're the problem.
I've been in all neighborhoods. I know how to topic it, y'all. You know these
need to exterminate people like him. If you guys want to shoot people, this is exactly who you need to get rid of right here.
No,
but you're a criminal. You're a criminal to our community.
Tell me how.
You are.
Tell me how.
Okay, you coming in here
how does that make me a criminal?
You can possibly be you are the enemy. You
listen, you can't find out the enemy.
Community.
Burn them down.
call the black witch.
Y'all
need to exterminate right here. This is the kind of niggas
no, I'm not a nigga.
So we were You are.
Y'all fighting to maintain nigga.
Well, here's the deal. You're fighting to maintain.
That's right. They just love nigga shit. Don't matter. Your time is up. People crying. This is on. No more sex in it. You're about to lose your housing.
Relax.
You're about to lose your housing.
Relax. Take your tattoos off and relax.
You can't keep that fella no more.
You are the kind of people that need to be exterminated.
You're gonna get kicked out your apartment.
You dumbass nigga. I don't live in an apartment. Go
use that Section 8. I know a Section 8 chick when I
live in a fucking apartment.
Don't let that trigger you up.
He's crazy.
Section 8.
I'm just trying to show you his fucking ignorance. Now he called me a bitch. Then he tells me I live in an apartment. Nigga, that's the bitches you dealing with.
I didn't call you a bitch. I called you a college out.
Yes, you did.
Alright, so is we done or is we done?
Okay, so
yeah. Nobody else sent me a time, so yeah, it's a wrap.
That was very painful. That was very painful to hear. That was way too early in the morning for somebody to come in, literally, and start calling me bitches at 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, God. If he was baiting me, Quinn, he succeeded. That's really early in the morning. I don't even know if I'm coming or going. My hair was plaited down. I had my pajamas. Shit, I don't know. But I invited him to come back so I could apologize for my behavior. So I invited him to come back. Well, I don't know if that's the one. Hey, man, boy, if that was the reason for the conversation or what we were supposed to be listening to. Y'all was all hyped. Yeah, you gotta listen to it. No, y'all need to listen to Culturally, because she was on fire. I don't know what happened, because by that time I was already in the tub, but I could hear Culturally. What's his name? Culturally, Just. Y'all need to listen to Just and Matt if you guys want content, because Just and Matt, I don't even know who they were talking. Oh, you know who they were talking to? Who was it, Maya? Was it Ion or was it somebody else? I didn't even know it was Ion? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But that was crazy. Alright. Will y'all sleep? Y'all done? I wasn't gonna say that, doctor. Yeah.
Let me get my phone. Can I say something real quick?
I gotta take a bath.
Can I say something real fast, please?
Yes, Brooklyn. Gone and say. But you were here too. You were wilding out too. Y'all go get Brooklyn. She was wilding out from.
I'm gonna tell you this though, Lisa, because this is for you, okay? Now, take a seat. If you decide that it's in your best interest to apologize to that nigga for that, something wrong. Like this is like victim. This is like when victims like keep getting victimized knowing that they victims. You can't let these people do that to you. He called you everything but a child of God, and you was about to, you gonna apologize. You bet not. Don't apologize to him for that.
I think I called him a nigga first, right?
He he thought like a nigga. He thought like one. It was well deserved. Believe that. You do not apologize for that, because the coonetry of the whole situation was some bullshit. Like the nerve of him to come up there and say any of those things that he said from the get-go. Yes, he was a nigga, big nigga energy too. And he could be from any country, any color,
At this point, he was on some bullshit. So please don't apologize to him for that. Don't. If you ever decide that you want to apologize to people for telling them about themselves, contact me first, because I'm going to tell you not to do it. You don't never apologize to niggas like that, ever.
But you guys must know him because Dap came in my back.
I don't even know him. I don't even know who that was, but that besides the point. They all trolls at the end of the day.
Because Dap came in my Brooklyn, came in my back channel, and I don't know if he wanted what he wanted from me, but he said that, oh, you know, I know him, he's a nice guy, he was just trolling you. I said, well, he called me a black bitch. I mean, what do you want me to do with that? And he goes, oh, you know, but he's black Hispanic. I was like, okay. What? But, you know, he was just in there trolling you, just having fun. I'm like, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't even play with people like that, though. Don't play with me like that. These is grown people, adults. Okay? Like, I only take for so much of the bullshit, neither. This is why some of them, they know, you know, my patience get real low. You are grown adult men and women, and, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to start acting like, yeah, I'm not taking no fucking trolling as an excuse. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have got on the internet to troll nobody. Now all bets are off. I'm shouting your whole fucking lineage out. That's how you treat them, like dirt. They're nothing, nobody. You talk to them as such, and then you dismiss them and make them go away. That's how you treat them people. You don't fucking be nice to them. Y'all gotta stop being nice.
You know, seriously, my therapist told me to take a break from the Clubhouse. It's like, you are not built for that shit. And I'm like, yeah, in so many words. But, you know, I felt out of body at the time, and I didn't feel comfortable with what I was doing, but I just didn't have any self-control at the time. So you know, some of the things I said, coming out of my mouth, I felt uncomfortable with, but I said them. So, you know, like fuck you and nigga and all that kind of stuff like that. I mean, when I do that, I don't feel good after that. Brooklyn, I don't. I mean, you guys might think whatever, and I really don't care at this point, but I don't feel comfortable, you know, doing stuff like that because after it's over, it's still with me, and I can't release that. So, yeah.
And then y'all have Blue on stage? Oh my goodness.
Who is Blue?
I don't know.
Gemini is here.
Oh, well, I know Blue.
I'm so tired of you. You don't come in my room anymore. What is going on, Gemini?
Black folks and us black folks. This is the second time I've been on the app in a while.
I know. So
I'll come in your room. I just haven't been on the app. I'll be listening on my burner while I'm working because I've been outside trying to get my shit for real.
Not the burner. Can somebody
Man, I was spinning the block on a burner because I am outside getting my shit together trying to be productive. But look, I had to come to say this real quick. You can't apologize to these hoe ass, bitch ass, weirdo ass fuck niggas on this fucking app. You gotta put them in a small box with one stamp and kick them the fuck on. Like, what the fuck? And all these packers in this room letting this motherfucker come in here and talk crazy like that? Y'all really let motherfuckers come in here and talk crazy like that? All these packers in this room.
That's why I miss you so much, you know, because you always jump in.
If she let the replay play, it would have showed that we talked to him after that. They stopped the replay right at the point where we stopped talking. Me and Just talked.
Oh, okay. Ain't no way they should be able to get that kind of shit off in the room without being made to feel the small little fucking piece of shit they are in that small little box they belong in. And that should be kicked to the curb. You don't place that outside on your front porch. Fuck that. And you definitely don't apologize to that fuck nigga. At all.
No, you don't ever apologize to him.
Talking about your apartment and all that shit is crazy as hell, man. These people on this app got no fucking life.
But at that point, we knew what he was doing. We just told her not to respond to him because he was trying to bait her in.
Yeah, he was definitely baiting. That's a fact.
That's what I'm saying. With them kind of people, you just remove them, put them in the audience. Just don't even talk to them. They're not even worth conversing with.
But you know what? I don't think he's capable of having a conversation to really validate his points if somebody systematically breaks it down. Like, you really have no points. You're just articulating bullshit that you've heard and repackaging it in more bullshit.
Which is why you just put him in the audience and don't talk to him.
Sometimes just give them enough rope to dangle, man. I like to watch their feet kick while they.
Yeah, but he's not talking about anything. He was intentionally trying to be. He was trying to be inflammatory. That's the reason why we just said don't talk to him. I do people a service by actually talking to them,
by giving them enough space to breathe.
Just don't even talk to him.
Yeah, he said some shit that should have. Yeah, his head should have been tore off.
What are you guys talking about?
It's a lot of self-hate. A lot of, self-hate just being spewed, man. Self-hate.
Well, I don't know.
It's sure.
But, hey, I know I'm coming in here, I'm looking at the title, and then last week we had that conversation about how many black women Trump has dismissed from the government in high-ranking position, and here he goes again, another one. I mean, Trump has literally gotten rid of every black person I knew who was in leadership in government in the federal government. He reassigned some to lower ranking positions, and he outright fired others he could. He doesn't want one black woman in any position.
Wasn't that what the gerrymandering was about in Texas?
Yeah, trying to get rid of Al Green and what's her name? Jasmine
Crockett.
Yeah, I think that was more that than getting the seats. Because he wanted to get rid of Crockett. So, and he knew that she would always be reelected in her district. So this is like a backdoor kitchen table meeting that they had and said, oh, we can do this on the slick and plus get more seats. So that's what I think. And I was in a room, I don't remember whose room it was, but they were talking about the overall plan of this administration and connecting the dots. And I kind of stole that from them because there is a concerted effort to either eliminate or to devalue, and I think it's devalue more the black community, because with the no cash bail system, if you're marching, the RICO Act, deportation without due process, all that stuff is going to start manifesting itself once people start getting arrested, start lifting up their voice and lifting up their heads, and pretty soon, children being tried as adults. So if you put all that together, and also bringing the police and the military into your communities, if you add all those elements together, you're fucked. No cash bail. Your kids are going to be, if they're out there marching, treated as adults or whatever they're doing. Because he said, oh, look at these gang of kids. No. It was kids out there. I played the quote. Kids were someplace out and about in D.C. And he said, look at these kids. And he goes, then he changed it into gang. Then he changed it into thugs. And then he said, once they saw the military or the National Guard, whatever, they ran back to where the hell they came from. It's like, this is where you talk about our children. I mean, no, and to me, I'm starting to feel it and understand that it's personal. It's personal. So if you add up, once again, backtracking, if you add all those puzzle pieces together and you put them in order, this is bad news for the black community. Period. Point blank. He doesn't like blacks, and he's showing you in roundabout ways how he's going to dehumanize you, demoralize you, devalue you, and put you in, like you were talking about, boxes where you belong.
But this is not the only... Today, you guys listened to his speech today while his cabinet meeting, when he talked about how he's going to return education to the states. And obviously, when you look at the states and the cities, especially the blue cities and red states, they're going to seriously underfund schools in those cities. Because, I mean, Trump is a concerted effort. And I tell people that it was they started with first trying to devalue us in education. Lately, you know what meme I see circulating among the right wing? Memes about black women are not the most educated. Blah, 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 blah. Those have been just proliferating around the right wing. And I could always track to see what they're talking about, because when I see people that I know who are right wing, who push this shit, what they're saying, and then you see the meme factories start making memes on this shit, and then that's how a lot of them actually get that information out there. Memes they share it with their friends, they think it's funny, and that's how it just permeates through their spirit. And the thing about it is that people don't understand that the restriction of blacks at, say, Ivy League schools was done for one purpose. Because we could say that, hey, we went to your schools, we went to your best schools. Why shouldn't we have a seat at the table? But to deny black people access to those schools, now black people can say, well, I'm as equally as educated as you are. I went to the same prestigious school as you are. Why shouldn't I be able to apply for the same jobs? So now, and then in the same time, they were saying that HSBCU schools are undereducating black folks. They're not. You don't get a real education when you go to those schools. So one, they want to prevent us from going to their best.
Hey, what's up, Walter?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. I'm just about to go sit in the sun. What are you doing?
Hey, what's that interview I had with that guy?
It's with the college down in Normal. Or are you talking about the one on the YouTube now with George Steinhardt?
No, the other guy, Benjamin.
Oh, that's coming up. That's in Normal. Bloomington Normal.
How big is that?
It'll be good press. It's worth it.
I mean, how many people look at that?
It doesn't matter. It gives me credibility because it's with a name brand publisher. So it would be stupid for me not to go down there and get that publicity, because that's how I build my resume going forward, you know?
Oh. And what about, they could do interviews over the phone or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
But they want to, they want to get me cornered, put me in the booth on the college, and I'm like, haven't you guys heard of the fucking internet? You fucking Stugats. We got to be efficient here.
Stugats. Everybody's making alliances right now.
I'm about to gas up Aaron Delmar real good. I got a gas tank with me. I'm about to gas him up.
Yeah, about what?
Well, he got into an argument with Mark.
Yeah, I heard that.
So I'm going to overlay the audio of Aaron Delmar screaming on top of his images, and then everybody can hear what Aaron Delmar sounds like when he gets angry.
Yeah, how's that? Well, you know that digital stuff?
It's just filming. It's just overlaying audio with video. It's very easy. I'm going to do it actually right now. I was going to do it last night, but you reminded me. I got to gas up Aaron Delmar for Mark.
And then what would that do? Make him go angry, like, ah!
Yeah, when Aaron Delmar sees it, he'll have like a migraine, and he'll be like...
They're nuts, man. Anything else is happening?
No. Got some paperwork I got to do.
What's your stuff?
No, lawsuit against the Treasury Department. Scott Bessent. My manager, she called me a whore, so I sued them.
Why you gotta send that?
I got to send it by the end of the week.
What is it for?
It's a lawsuit against the Treasury Department. Scott Bessent.
Why, he owes you money?
That's what I claim. I say he owes me at least 1 year's salary. I should have asked for 3 years of salary.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm going to update the amount to $210,000 now that I think of it.
Well, that's nuts, isn't it?
It's not nuts. They got to get a law. They're legally required to give me an attorney and pay for it. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That's the kind of rights you got when you're a government employee. You know, you are the government, so they give you the full service. They don't give a fuck how much it costs.
So what happened? You just...
Nothing. I'm filing a grievance for harassment.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's all law. It's lawfare. It's funny. They had books on it inside the office. I was like, you know what? I might need these.
That's nuts, actually.
These things happen all the time. People, you know how much Congress has paid out in sexual harassment lawsuits over the past 20 years? Like $1 billion.
Wow.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to send you the link to a room that I'm in right now because I'm recording it. So I will talk to you soon or see you in the room.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
I pay my dues, but I had a family member just retired. She was the CEO of her chapter, a regional urban league, and so it's just in my family. It was like, hey, you're going to be active, and I don't know about everybody else, but there are regional, like Dr. A.G. was saying, and regional chapters. I just encourage people to reach out, and sometimes they may not be loud, but they are active.
And these organizations, you know, they are the people, and they can only do so much. They have the people power to do.
And listen, there's an era that has happened.
I haven't heard anything from them, though. I don't understand what we're saying. Because
What do you mean?
I just said what I said. I haven't heard.
I don't understand.
What do I want to hear? I want to hear them say anything. It's like, have they said anything about what's... No, seriously. I mean, I know you guys
I'm being quite serious.
I'm serious too. I haven't heard nothing.
The Urban League is very engaged in the lawsuits, as is the NAACP. They are very engaged in that action. So they have partnered with other groups to deal with that. And they're also engaged in trying to strategize private partnerships to create opportunities in the gap that's going to be made with all of this stuff that's happening with the federal government.
But they also can't do anything without money. So along with membership goes, along with the lack of membership comes a lack of funding. So people don't participate in them. They don't give them money because over time we have allowed, this goes hand in hand with a lack of education. This goes hand in hand with the being propagandized. We have examples of that on stage as we speak. People who have succumbed to the notion that these groups are old and that they don't serve a purpose anymore and that they're not as vocal, even though they're doing the real work. As Dr. A.G. has just so eloquently laid out, they do a lot of the work behind the scenes, and they do have people that come and speak on people's behalf. There have been instances where the NAA has supported Sabrina Fulton during the time when Trayvon Martin was killed. There's a lot of things that they do, and countless others after that. They were involved in Mike Brown in St. Louis. There's a lot of if you're looking for things that they do publicly and visibly, they do a lot of different things. But we have to understand what they are and what their function is. They do exactly what they can do with the lack of membership and with the lack because they're not funded well. They've not been able to evolve into the new time period.
I mean, this is the information age. I'm sorry, Jim, I'm a land. This is the information age. And there's a lot of ways to get, to reinvent your organization, if that's what you want to do, and get the word out there. I don't know what's going on because literally, if you start asking people to get involved, if you start making yourself more visible and your message more clear, Yeah, there's nobody else. Never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute.
I'm just saying you're not wrong. You're on the right path there.
One second, Quinn. I do think I would love to see them more visible, but they are absolutely taking steps to try to fight Trump. Like 1,000%. They're not inactive. They did file a lawsuit against the DOE, right, for cutting off the funding, right? And they really pushed back against DEI when that came out. We might not have heard about it because it wasn't as publicly broadcast, but they're actually doing the legal work. Like they're filing the lawsuits that actually contest the actions that Trump is taking right now. You know, so it's not as publicized as we would like to see it, but they definitely are fighting Trump.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't do that without new blood. Like, you're talking about people who were involved in the 80s who are now in their 80s. You know, you need new blood. You need people who understand the importance of it. And there are, it's not everybody, but they just don't have I mean, when people say that, they always look at them as eternal organizations who will continue to do the work no matter what. But we don't often understand that we are now the people who are supposed to be the people involved in that. And many of us are not.
It's their charge. It's their charge to get, if they're 80, just like, oh my God, I don't want to have this conversation, but can I just say this part? Just like Maxine Waters, she's getting ready to, I guess, retire. I'm not sure when or how, where. But, you know, just like we're saying, you know, you have to bring, you're the emeritus, you have to bring people behind you, and you have to know how to get that done. That's their charge. It's not my charge. It's their charge. So let us know what you know, what's going on, what you need, what you want to do, whatever. And then I'll be there to support. But I don't have the expertise in this. I don't know the ins and outs of nothing of this. That's their charge to educate me.
Respectfully, though, the people that are in the NAACP and the Urban League, they're not all 80, right?
No, they're not. Not at all.
I have three students who are a part of the Civil Rights Division, and they are the ones who do the legal cases. So not everybody is old. And sometimes you have to go to the place where the information is. Somebody put something in the chat, and my comment was, clearly you don't know what these organizations are, what their purpose is, and how they work. Because the NAACP and the Urban League, they're not going to be blasting on Instagram. They're not going to be blasting on social media. They're going to put out informationals. They're going to put out updates, and that's how they work. There's a very narrow line. I didn't interrupt. There's a very narrow line that these organizations have to walk in doing the work that they do. And so I guess I just don't get it, because they have a website that announces what they do, where they're appearing, what their conferences are, what their conventions are, what the projects are that they're working on. That, like Quinn said, they ask for public donations to support their work. I don't know, and I will confess to a bit of, and I've said this before, like a bit of impatience when I hear, as I often do, I hear people talk about inaction when there's clearly action. And being uninformed isn't always the responsibility of the source about which you want the information. There's labor that goes into keeping oneself informed and active. And I just had this conversation today, and my comment was, get up and find out. You can find out. The information is out there, but sometimes you have to seek it. It's not just fall in your lap. So I admit my impatience around this, because this is something that I'm consistently confronting, and it's very aggravating and annoying.
And Dr. Rachel, just to be clear,
can I ask you, as an instructor and somebody so these young people don't know anything about that?
That's not true. That is not true. College campuses have
can I say some?
NAACP sections. They have college division.
Not all college campuses. Not all.
Lisa, let me bridge the gap.
There's not one on Cal Berkeley. There's not. I'll shut up in a minute. I'll shut up in a minute because I feel like I'm getting pushed back, and I welcome it. I don't have a problem with it. But every kid doesn't know about the NAACP, and it's not on every college campus. It probably is on a college campus. I'm not denying that, but I know the ones that I'm active on. I kind of look for these organizations. I want my kids to know. I want them to be involved. But that's not the case. So every college campus they're not on. I'm just asking, this the way we're in this society right now, with the way we disseminate information, you're saying that we need to get out there and find it out. But a lot of kids don't know where to go to find this kind of, they don't know about none of that. SNCC, NAACP, Urban League. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you are wrong.
No, I could be wrong, but am I the only one who's wrong? You guys are about 17.
Can I just say this about the
Miss,
university?
you're right.
Can I just respond to this about the university? Can I just respond to this? So, you're correct. Every campus in the country doesn't have a chapter of every organization. You are absolutely correct. Most cities, if you are located near a major city, there is some arm of the organization that is present. My point, and this is what I actually tell students, that you have to go out and get active. And so it's not true that young people on college campuses are not engaged with these organizations. A lot of young people use these organizations to introduce them to leadership if they are interested in that sort of thing. So the campus orgs are their avenue for that. So a lot of these young people are active in campus organizations. And the social justice organizations are a very popular avenue for students. And this is across demographic, right? So at my institution, for example, the NAACP chapter was so active, they demanded a meeting with the university chancellor, and every month they met with the university chancellor to discuss what their issues were with the campus culture. So it's not fair to say that the young people aren't engaged. It's just not fair.
Well, I never said that. I said
you did. You say they don't know about it.
They don't, ma'am.
I'm saying that's not true.
Okay, so the people that you know, I don't know every student.
But Lisa, it's not just people that I know.
I'm talking about the people that I know, because that's my only resource. I cannot talk about people I don't know. I cannot talk about colleges I don't know.
So your population is smaller than mine.
Probably.
Yeah. Because I advise organizations, and so I know how they coordinate across college campuses across the country. So there are very active young people. That's all.
And I'm aware of that, and that's what I'm trying to curate within my own situation. But I just admitted that I don't know everything, and I don't ever claim to know everything, and I don't want to, because at that point in time, then my time on this earth is over. But what I'm saying to you,
it's not about knowing everything.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, let me go on.
Let me say this real quick, right?
No, real quick. Like, yo,
hold on, Ja. That's the moderator talking.
Real quick. I hear both of their sides, because I totally understand what Dr. AG is saying. They are active. They do have a Instagram with a couple million followers on there, right? I would love to see them I know they need a budget to do this, but have a budget to reach out to the influencers, because a lot of the times the young people are more in touch with, like, not just an isolated social media page, but they follow certain influencers. And if you can get them to reconvey that message, I think it would be heavily impactful. The Urban League last month did put out a state of an emergency PSA. It went out onto major news networks. They say we're under attack, right? They are part of the lawsuit against the DOE, along with the NAACP, that was filed in February, right? This hasn't been like big news because they don't want to highlight this in the news, but this is happening. So there is pushback. But on the other side, on the flip side, like what Lisa's saying, I understand too. Like, I would like to see them in more locations. I know they need funding to do so, and I know they're soliciting and looking for it, but you have to really go out there and actively look to support them, right? Because they don't have the funding that they need. There is no, like my daughter goes to UCLA, there's no NAACP chapter on that campus. None. Zero. Not even student rent. Nothing. Right? They only are listed as off campus. My daughter complains about that. So I see both sides of the coin.
Well, but go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Yo, what I'm saying is without young, new people that want to join the NAACP and all that, it would die. You need new blood in that. That's the truth. And then, you know what I mean? I raised my nieces and them. They're all college. They're getting their masters. You feel me? So, and you know what I mean? I went to school for a little bit. I got an associate. I just in calculus. I took statistics. I took all that. So, I'm just now I'm a little older. I'm just some of it didn't make any sense to me. I'm just what's the point? You know what I mean? So I'd rather just work, get a family, and raise them to be successful. You know what I mean? I'm a man. What's the point? What is the point of that?
That is what I've been asking this whole time. The reason why the NAACP, first of all, the NAACP never had to be on college campuses to be relevant. So people sought out the NAACP to be a part of it because of what we're experiencing now are younger people who some of you parents haven't explained to them the importance of the NAACP, and probably because you haven't seen the importance of the NAACP, and it's because people don't think it's relevant in its time because you don't actually know the work they're doing. You're not seeing them on TV. You're not seeing, but you do see them. You just don't know that you're seeing them. I guess maybe that's not the best explanation, but they do very important work. They've been doing very important work. It's just when people think that they're not doing something according to their whatever they think that their stance for activism is, or speaking out on certain issues. That's not the only work that's being done. There's a lot of work and very important work that has been done by loudmouth people who are very quiet, and they do have times when they are loud too. So that is a little bit confusing. So there's times when they do their work and they're doing the real work. So we just have to get behind and support them. They shouldn't have to find us. We should find them.
No, I'll be honest.
I've been a member since I was.
Money makes more money than labor. So you got to make money to make money.
This doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, sir. Respectfully, it doesn't. Nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It does.
Let that man speak. He raised his nieces and nephews and put them through college. Let that man speak.
I'll go after
I tell them all the time. Yeah. Money makes more money than labor. That is true. Regardless how you think about it.
You're wrong for that.
That is true. There is no point in labor if you could use money to make money.
I'm going to follow up on what Quinn was saying. I don't know I'm not as in depth with the NAACP. I know they're good, but I know more of the National Urban League because I had one of my family members. We actually interviewed her here on the app a year or two ago in one of my spaces. She's since retired from her position in the National Urban League. They do a lot of good in their respective chapters. My aunt, who was the CEO of the chapter in her major city, she instituted a shoe program for the youth, for not just African American youth, but she opened it up to anyone who was in need. Especially in this time of going back to school, making sure that kids from families of less means had all that they needed. They have a youth program where they're getting youth involved. In her chapter, or I keep saying her chapter, she's in her former chapter, they have financial literacy programs. They have helped young people, especially young black people, take one foot into home ownership and that first step into wealth building that has so often passed us by because of redlining and other things of that nature that have held us back as a community. So this is something that I recognize my own biases because this is something that I've grown up with within my own family structure. but I know that's not available to all. But they're just looking. I encourage. Well, I was about to say open up the yellow pages, but Google your own respective city. If there isn't a chapter within your own city, see if there's one nearby. Mark Morales, the head of the overall National Urban League, they have something going on. I think by the end of this week in Harlem with Right, Wrong, or Indifferent with Al Sharpton and Martin Luther King III. If you get on the email or if you become a member, you're privy to this information. And that's just to anyone.
Brian, open up the yellow page. I had a question. Crazy.
I had a question to Dr. AG.
Good to see you. What's up?
Dr. AG, do you believe that those colleges don't have chapters because majority of people that are there are white?
I think that's some of it, yeah. Because the student organizations can only be founded by students. So, I had I'll say that anyway. Yeah, student organization.
Yeah, I'm asking because I know UH has a chapter, so we know UH is majority Black and Hispanic college.
And a lot of the schools that have them, the chapters are older, and the students have just carried it. So there was a school actually in Indiana that they were like revitalizing theirs. They were bringing theirs back. This was like maybe 10, 15 years ago. They were bringing theirs back because it had languished, and they were renewing it. And so there is a resurgence of it. But yeah, that's why it's the student population. And different universities have different rules for how to form student organizations. But at most universities, you can form a student organization with as little as 5 people. It doesn't take a lot.
My high school had a chapter. I was a part of it. We've been paying dues with the national chapter since I was a senior in high school.
So basically, are y'all here or what happened?
Yeah, we're here, Brooklyn.
Okay, so basically, it would take for the kid to want to be involved, but then it will also take for the parent to, kind of encourage them to be involved in something like that. So if that's not happening, then...
Correct, and you would also have to encourage your child probably to go to a school that has, more of the Black community.
But the
majority of the Black community.
But they got local chapters outside of college. So
of course.
You can do it outside of college.
But I believe that it's also the parent encouraging the child. The child wants to do something.
That's what I'm saying. It would probably be based on the parents' involvement. So it's like a trickle down. If you're not involved, if you're not really telling your kids, you're not pro-Black with your kids, then your kids ain't pro-Black either.
That's true. But I was looking at it this way, Mel, because earlier you were asking her. I thought that initially because UCLA only has like 5 to 6% Black, right? So I figured that must be why they don't have a formal NAACP chapter, right? But then I started doing my research, and there are a lot of HBCUs that don't have a formal NAACP chapter. So it's not just a percentage, right? That's not it. They have to. It's usually student initiated. And if the students aren't, like you said, being parented in that way, or they don't have mentors or affiliates that are moving in that direction to kind of motivate them to organize and seek out formal affiliation with the NAACP, it doesn't happen. It's usually student initiated. It doesn't matter if it's, like Dr. AG said, 4 or 5 students. It doesn't matter. As long as they initiate it and formally affiliate, you're there, right? But they're just not being motivated to do so, or they're joining other groups and they just have other focuses. And that's more the problem than the amount of Black students that are there.
And honestly, being uninformed just really can't be an excuse, especially as a Black person. I feel like what'd you say?
I just said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, So it's like I don't feel like people should have to be motivated. Like you should want to do this. Like you see how that black people have certain issues in this country, brown people have certain issues. So that should motivate you. But I feel like we debilitate young people by saying things like they don't know, so help them. Like pass it down. Like you said, information just does not fall out the air. You got it. Any information, even information on Instagram, you still got to go get it. You have to reach for it, and if you want to verify it, you have to research it further. So I think that's kind of our problem, is that we are so oh, it's not right here, in front of me. So they don't know about it. It's just what? I don't even know that type of thought process. Go out and get it, find out somebody doing it.
And I think this is one of the things I've recognized, because being 76, I've now taught several generations, and these 18, I would say these 18 to 24-year-olds and other people thereabout, but for that particular demographic, they are some of the most uninformed, claiming having access to information people I have ever met. They have access to more information than even I could have imagined accessing, and without doing any work. They don't have to leave their homes, right? They don't even have to be home. They could be in a public restroom in McDonald's and access information. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and I, as a Gen Xer, I think Gen X has to take responsibility for the poor education of their children. The poor foundation building and rooting their children in a certain cultural politic and a certain black politic.
Amen.
These people run around here talking all this craziness about black people, about black. It is no wonder that because they disseminate this information so widely that we are in the state that we are in. So yes, it is the parents. You have to get your kid anchored in the tradition and encourage your child to work, to create and continue the Black Project, which is access to the franchise and the privileges and rights of citizenship for everyone. And if you're not doing it, your kid's not going to do it either.
Uh-oh.
And your kid going to find kids who ain't doing it. Uh-oh. And then we going to be fucked up sideways in the world.
You mean just like we are now, Dr. AG? You talking about now?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So how many of y'all are card carrying holders of the NAACP in here?
I'm probably still a member.
And the Urban League.
I'm a member of the National Urban League.
And the National Council of Negro Women.
Yeah, my daughter.
I'm the National of Africa. I'm African certified.
I'm certified African.
Urban League.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm also a member of
African as you get.
I'm also a member of Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not trolling. I'm sorry.
You sound. I'm also a member of
CBC. Let's just continue with our membership announcements.
I'm also a member of the CBC. You all can be a member of the CBC as well.
Well, I'm not a member of anything, but I'm still hella pro-black.
It's not even expensive. It's really not expensive.
I'm just not. Maybe I'll join.
It really isn't.
But
Patty, you trying to speak?
I'm trying.
I hope this will inspire people to seek out
yes,
membership.
I'm inspired, Dr. AG. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm inspired. No, seriously, I'm inspired. No, seriously. I already said, and I may need to join an organization at this age in my life. And why not? You know what I mean? Especially now.
I'm sorry, man.
It makes sense. So please don't talk to me. It makes sense for me to, join something like that and be involved in community outreach. I mean, I've done community outreach outside of all of those organizations, but it wouldn't hurt, you know what I'm saying? And join. I'm not tripping.
And let's be clear also, it just because we're in the information age doesn't mean that people are going to be informed. To Dr. AG's point, I mean, that you can have information at your fingertips, but you don't have any guidance. Information without guidance is useless. You haven't been guided, and parents don't direct their children toward those things. And if they don't know, then obviously how are you going to, the blind can't lead the blind. So there are people who don't understand the importance of guiding their children, not just to being part of organizations, but understanding in general. So when you don't do that, then there's only nothing to continue passing along. So I mean, they have all the information at their fingertips they want. Don't matter. Nothing you can do with it if you haven't been guided, you haven't been shown how to use it.
You know what I mean? I raised her basically, but they're all she was a student president. I made sure you gotta be what's the point of even being in council in school if you're not the student president? And I told my nephew, what's the point of playing basketball if you ain't the best? What's the point? I look what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be the best. And it became the best. He became the best. That's what it is. You gotta be what's the point? I average 17 points a game. You can Google me. It ain't no joke.
What the hell going on?
I'm with Brooklyn on this. I mean, listen, I tried to call it.
You can Google me. If you're gonna do something, be the best. What's the point?
Absolutely.
What are you doing it for?
Totally agree with you, brother.
I think this is the under 24 that Dr. AG was speaking on. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Here's the thing: even if it's trolling, during a serious conversation, it's still juvenile. Just because you don't have the ability to participate in adult conversations, and then you try to
get your kids involved when younger.
It's crazy.
When you get them involved when they're young in some of these organizations, when they go off to college.
You're in the Matrix, Patty. You must have rolled into some bad.
When I was little, my mom had Martin Luther King Day. I'd have to do little paintings that they would auction off at their because they always have their annual gala. When I was in Fort Stewart, or when my dad was in Fort Stewart, and I went down to see him in Fort Stewart, they have this thing in South Carolina. They have this big dinner right before the Masters, because the Masters is but it's a bunch of, or some kind of thing they have in Hilton Head. It's something like the Masters. You know what I'm talking about, Dr. A.G.?
Yeah, they have. I think it's Ted Turner who does that golf tournament. That's what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about, the golf tournament?
You can't pay the bills with words. You can only pay the bills with skills.
Someone can move him now if they
Can you pay the bills?
Wait, Michelle. Wait, you gotta, no, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me say something real quick. I've been real quiet. And I listened to this conversation about the education. And I agree. The Gen X has a responsibility when it comes down to the education. But I also think when it comes down to emotional intelligence, that also needs to be something that needs to be an example. And the example that is shown in this room on a constant basis is not something that I would want the generation that is coming up to resemble. Why? Because it doesn't look good. So you're constantly complaining about somebody else, but nobody's looking in the mirror. Carry on.
Is that for me?
It's for whoever wants to take it.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be anybody specific. I don't target people. Yes. I'm just saying, and I'm putting it out there.
Okay. For my money, if again, and that has a place in the conversation as well. But for my money, if we're having a serious debate or a serious conversation, and there are people not interested in that, and visibly so, I think removing them is probably a better option than engaging them, and especially when it's not in good faith. If it's in good faith, that's a different approach. They just can't participate in the conversation, or maybe don't have the information but are willing to learn. Totally different thing. But when people are doing what this cat is doing to my right, that's disruptive because he doesn't prioritize sensible conversation, and he clearly does not participate. Clearly doesn't prioritize that. It's disruptive.
Let's just recalibrate. Let's refocus. Patty, your internet was going in and out, so we couldn't hear. You were saying something about if you start them early.
Yeah, if you start them early, a lot of times these kids do things on their own. Like with my daughter, when she went off to college, she was like, you know what, I'm gonna join the Young Democratic Party. So it's like, she's joined that. She's like done this too. She's part of some black something union, something, because there's only so many black kids at her school, right?
Black student union.
Union. She does, she volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club for tutoring for kids. There's a lot of things that they do on their own if you start them young. And it's something that they take the initiative to do it. If you start them young, right? So even when I was a little kid, who actually got us into the
You're gone again.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes.
When you were young, who actually started?
Yeah, my mom paid for it. She was the one that paid for us to join the NAACP. And we would go to a church once a month, and they would have meetings. This was before the phone calls and then the monthly meetings, because now they do this mass phone call and you get to hear like what's going on, what the agenda is. But back then they didn't have the monthly phone calls. It was once a month. We had to show up, dress up, go to this church, and they would have the meetings. And it was an Asian woman. It wasn't my black dad. So like, I don't know. And I think it's good to get your kids involved in these things, and they'll take initiative and do other things.
Daddy, shout out to your Asian mom for keeping you connected to the culture. She did a good job.
Yeah, she don't.
But I'm saying she wanted you to know it, and that's what's important.
But that's like part of the point. It doesn't matter that she didn't know the culture. She knew, to get you involved.
Yeah.
And a lot of these parents, they don't be teaching their kid about no pride about being black. And so when the issues that people don't understand that there are specific black issues. Everybody want to be different. And that's fine. But we're not going to get anywhere trying to separate ourselves from the things that are actually uniting us, whether it be through struggle or whatever. But I think that saying that people don't know about something has never been and should not be an excuse now. And I think that we need to really rectify that.
I think a lot of the parents aren't proud of being black themselves. A lot of them want to be racially ambiguous if they could. They don't want to stand next to a black community, identify with the black community. They want to distance themselves as well. So you can't expect them to relay that type of information to their children. Their children are probably following suit. They watching the way their parents move and are doing the exact same thing. They're not proud of their skin either.
And I feel like that's why people don't understand, didn't understand Kamala, because one thing that I will say about her that irritated me the most is when people would try to say she wasn't black and bring up the fact that she was the first Indian woman, because you can be both.